In today's video, we're going to take a look at whether SEO still works in 2026, because there's been a debate on whether SEO still works or if SEO is sort of on a decline, because some websites have been penalized in the past 4 years, and on the other hand, some websites are still ranking so high on Google, and they're still maintaining their firm stance on Google. If you think about it from another perspective, this looks like a catch-22 situation, because one side looks fleeting and the other side looks promising. So which is which? Does SEO work, or is SEO on the decline? So we're going to get into everything. When I say everything, I mean everything that goes into SEO, and I'm going to tell you whether SEO works or whether SEO doesn't work, so that you can know what to incorporate into your brand or your website if you want to capitalize on SEO, or you want to take your marketing to the next step. So first and foremost, we have to take a look at the history of SEO, search engine optimization, that is. So when you think about search engine optimization, you're thinking at it from the perspective of strategies which are developed and used by websites and publishers to appear on search engine consoles like Google, Bing, and the others. It dates back to the mid-90s, when the internet was still booming and different websites started appearing on the internet. But back then, the platforms that were available, they used something that was called a meta tag to access websites. So basically, a meta tag is like a coded part of the website. Think of it like a product description. When you go to shop or look for something, before you buy a product, you probably read the description on the product, which tells you some of the things that the product does and what the product is all about. Now, a meta tag works in the same perspective. Basically, it provides more information about what the website does and what the website is all about, so that platforms can access the website easily. So back in the mid-90s, meta tags were used. Meta tags were very crucial in search engine optimization. But as things progressed, as things went on, from the mid-90s to the late 90s, people started spamming their websites with a lot of meta tags. So instead of using the average number of meta tags, a website could have many meta tags. And this means that search engine optimization started becoming spammy to some extent, because some websites were including meta tags and descriptions that were not necessarily genuine in what they were doing. So what does this mean? This means that the user experience went down, because if you go to a website and then it doesn't offer what it says it offers, the user experience will not be so good at the end of the day. But still, at the same time, there was another company which was looking at the user experience of platforms that were providing access to websites, and that company is Google. Now, Google came into the scene in 2000, and this is what they said. Google said that they provide a better user experience, such that when someone visits their platform, they will get access to information that was of quality and that solved a certain problem that they were facing. So they also introduced an algorithm which sort of ranked and providers and looked at websites from that perspective, where they would analyze the website, check if the website is offering certain kind of information which is being searched by users, and then they provide access to the website. And the algorithm now had something that had an aspect of links. That was in the early 2000s. Now links are like referrals. It's like word of mouth. Google prioritized websites that had many links over websites that didn't have as many backlinks. A backlink is like word of mouth. If someone does a good job, there's a high chance that I'd refer them to my friend or to other people that I work with, to my team members. That is how Google interpreted links back in the day. So if a website had links coming from other websites, it means that there's something that it's offering which is referred to by many people. So the link is the word of mouth. And if a website had so many links, it means that it's providing something that's valuable to a lot of people. But still, remember that there's an aspect of SEO which can become spammy, and the linking thing became a loophole which could be capitalized on. But at the end of the day, people gamed the link aspect of Google. So if someone had a website, what they will do is they will either purchase links or convince other people to link things that will go back to their website, and that became spam to some extent. So the user experience came down like in the late 90s, where people were spamming their websites with meta tags, a lot of meta tags. So websites started becoming spammed with a lot of links, and if someone clicked at a website which had a lot of links, they will not get the solution that they were looking for. So apart from that, a lot of websites also started publishing and churning out low quality content for the sake of ranking. Now remember, as Google was on the rise, it introduced something that was called Google Ads. So Google Ads, what Google Ads would do is it will place an advertisement on websites that had content. So if the advertisement had higher views, the revenue that will make from Google Ads will be high. So websites caught onto that. In the early 2000s, there were a lot of we call them content farms, which were producing low quality content for the sake of ranking and for the sake of making revenue from Google Ads. So Google caught onto that because the website was publishing content, but it was not insightful enough to provide solutions to website visitors and Google users. So they caught onto that, and then they introduced something that was called the Panda. The Panda was an algorithm that checked whether the quality of a content is low or high. So if the quality of the content is low, such websites will not be prioritized by Google. But if the quality of the content was high, it will be prioritized by Google. Now the Panda is still operational up to date because it still analyzes the information that's published on our website, whether it's high quality content or whether it's low quality content. So that's the Panda. It was introduced in 2011 actually. It was introduced in 2011, February 23rd, 2011. That is when the Panda was established and introduced on the Google. And after in the mid 2015, 2014, the Panda became a part of Google's core algorithm. So what is the current state of search engine optimization? Because I've taken you through the SEO from the 90s up to 2015 and up to to the mid 2015, 2016, up to there. So what is the current state of SEO? At this point, because the Panda is a main part of Google's core algorithm, we have what is called the search quality evaluatory guidelines. These are guidelines that determine whether information published on our website is high quality or low quality. And apart from that, Google works with a team of a group of people who always check their user experience. Remember that at its core, Google wants to provide a high quality user experience. So it works with people. It works with people who can go into the Google console, search for something, look at the results, and then click the results, rank whether the results published on the website is high quality or low quality. So that is what the Google guidelines is like, a list of things that the team at Google looks at when determining whether the quality of content is high or whether the quality of content is low. And after they determine whether the quality is high or whether the quality is low, the results and the feedback from the team is fed into an algorithm which now updates how things are listed on Google and the Google results. So we have a document which is called the Google Search Evaluatory Guidelines. Apart from that, it also guides website publishers, website owners, and others when it comes to information and the kind of information they can publish on their website. The most important, some of the few things that are mentioned on the search quality guidelines is the quality of information. So we have high quality, media quality, and low quality kind of content. High quality content has three things in particular. It has the effort that goes into the content creation, the information that's published on the website, the originality, and the value that it brings to the table. So when you're talking about effort, if you can read something, just take like 5 minutes and go through our website, you can tell the quality of effort that went into the information, because high quality content, you can just tell. It's easy to tell. It's easy to tell in this day and age. It's very easy to tell. When it comes to originality, Google looks at it from this perspective. When it wants your perspective to be original, because if there's so many websites publishing the same thing, then it means that the originality might be lost, or so many people are doing the same. So it looks at the originality. What is your perspective on something? If, for instance, you're doing a review of a phone, maybe you might have one aspect of the phone which has not been mentioned by other websites, and that makes your content and your information more original. Now the value that's offered on your website, does the information that's published on your website answer a certain question? Does it solve the problem of the website visitor who's visiting your website with a certain problem? So those are the three main aspects of high quality content: effort, originality, and value. Now apart from that, because we are in the era of AI, some websites took advantage of that and they produced a lot of content. Maybe you'd see 60 pages being published in one day, and such information was not verified, it was not analyzed, it was not revised, it was just published for the sake of being published. Google noticed that, and they noticed that the user experience on their search console was going down. So they came up with a section which is called the spammy content. It's a section on the search evaluatory guidelines, which basically means that if a website produces such kind of spammy content, it gets penalized because such kind of information does not add value to users necessarily. And apart from that, it also reduces the user experience of users who are visiting Google. But then on the other aspect of it, if the information is published by AI and verified and looked at, and some effort is put into the content, might rank. So that is the second aspect of the guidelines. The third aspect of the guidelines is your life or your finances. Now, when I'm talking about your life, I'm talking about the kind of information that's very sensitive in industries which areas can be very sensitive. For instance, the health industry, the pharmacy industry, and the construction industry, and other industries where information needs to be verified before it's published, and it needs some certain sort of expertise to it. For instance, if you're looking for advice for health, you probably go to a website where it has verified authors and verified experienced people who are practicing health and who know what they're talking about, because such information is very sensitive and can affect your health. So you are more likely to listen to a doctor and people who have practiced for a long period of time, because they're more likely to provide insightful information. So Google also takes into account industries which are very sensitive and which require some sort of expertise. Now we've talked about the current state of search engine optimization and the history of search engine optimization. And we come back to the main topic, which is, does SEO work, or is SEO in the decline? So if you think about SEO from the perspective of spamming, like I've taken you through some of the few things that websites used to do to spam and to rank high, then such kind of SEO doesn't last for a long time. Actually, it's fleeting, because Google catches onto the game that's sort of going on, because such kind of SEO doesn't focus on the customer or the website visitor or the web user. It only focuses on ranking and generating revenue, which is not a bad thing, but there's a balance between you can balance between providing value and generating value. But if it's spammy, like for instance the AI kind of content and spamming website with meta tags, or for instance using a lot of links so that your website might appear like it has a lot of authority, then that kind of SEO is penalized. But if you think about SEO from the perspective of offering value to your users, you put value first. When you are providing information, you make sure that you publish information that answers the website visitors' questions. You are at a very high advantage, and you can easily rank on Google. And apart from that, you can even be cited by AI platforms, because the websites that created trust from the mid 2000s up to now, they're being cited by AI platforms such as ChatGPT, Perplexity, and the rest. So if you take your time to establish trust and to publish information that solves problem, that offers value, I'm repeating value because value is very crucial when it comes to offering value, is very crucial when it comes to offering to SEO. And that is one of the core parts of Google, value. If I repeat, I can say value. So value is very important. So we have two parts of SEO. We have the spammy kind of SEO and the value-driven kind of SEO, which offers value. And the good thing is the value driven kind of SEO lasts for a very long period of time. 5 years from now, you will still rank. 10 years from now, you will still rank. Now, another aspect of it is, since AI platforms have entered the scene, there's this sort of paranoia against SEO, which doesn't make sense, because if you look at the current state of Google, you'll notice that Google has more than 100 billion monthly users. 100 billion monthly users. That's a lot of access to a very huge market. It's a very big market. And if you capitalize on search engine optimization, it becomes very easy to rank and to access the market. And apart from that, AI platforms, they're also looking at some of the patterns that have been established by Google in ranking information. And that's the reason why if you search for anything on an AI platform, there's a high chance that you will find some of the websites that rank high on Google cited by AI platforms, because Google has been here for a very long time and it has a very huge user base, which means that SEO will also be here for a very long time too, because we have to tap into the user base that Google gives us access to. So, is SEO dead? No. Will SEO still be here? Yes. Which kind of SEO are we talking about? Talking about high quality, value driven type of SEO that offers value. And that's everything when it comes to SEO in 2026.